People there wasn't church members. I mean, I'm getting called from church members wanting to know, and the leadership getting called from the church member, what's going on at our church. And they say, well, we know nothing about it.
He's talking about nights like this. Last Thursday at Mill Street Church of Christ, people came not for Bible study or prayer, but to find out about BP oil spill claims. A sign on the front door read, BP claims, 9 to noon and 2 to 6, Monday through Friday. The person inside, who seemed to be in charge, wouldn't let cameras in. He wouldn't even give us his name. Church officials say they thought it was a one-time meeting and something positive for the community. Church financial advisor Ken Gay says church leaders had been contacted by a pastor out of Hammond named Greg Warren.
Greg Warren came in here a month or so ago, and he said he had some information about the BP spill, that he was a representative or he worked with them, and they were looking for people that possibly had claims that they could file in order to get money back against BP.
Gay says no one was prepared for the influx of people or series of meetings. Plus, the people were being asked to provide personal information, including Social Security numbers on a one-page form.
That's information you don't want to give to anybody that's not legit. And we have so much going on with fraud now.
So, church officials have said no more at their building.
Because we felt like it could possibly hurt a reputation of the church, and that it really wasn't for the community, and that we're pretty sure if you guys into it, you're getting paid for it. So therefore, if it's a legit business, you need to find you somewhere else to go. So basically, we shut it down.
Yet, evidently, those circulating the forms are moving their operation to Richmond Suites at Highway 171 in Moline. A sign on the front door reads, BP will be there Friday. No success reaching Pastor Greg Warren.
We reached an agreement to assist in the screening process for those potential claimants that may be out there that may have basically not even had no idea that they had the right or the opportunity to participate in this class action, because many people thought it was just for the fishermen and just for the businesses that maybe lost revenue, but this class action involves everybody in the state of Louisiana. I was called to the ministry about 35 years ago. My father was a traveling evangelist for 52 years.
The idea of cashing in on the BP oil spill is something that appeals to many in Louisiana, as shown by large turnouts when community meetings on the topic are held. And despite what some might consider an unsavory past, Minister Greg Warren says he's a community activist trying to help people who may be eligible for compensation from the spill.
There's more than just one way that a person could possibly qualify for benefits in this, what we now have as a claims process.
Warren knows better than most that people must be truthful when they fill out forms seeking participation in lawsuit settlements.
And sometimes, in an effort to help people, things can go wrong.
Almost 10 years ago, he was convicted of tax evasion and wire fraud related to a scheme to submit fraudulent claims in the Fen-Phen diet pill case.
There were several hundred falsified claims that had come in, and because of it, I was indicted and became a government witness and had to testify against some of the people that I worked for. And as a result of that situation, I was charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and tax evasion.
Warren says he is right with God.
I serve a God that forgives, and I pretty much have peace over that. I can't deny the fact that that's me. That is me. And I'm not proud of that.
He says he will not participate in any scam as he works with claimants to fill out lengthy forms.
And if they lie about any of that information in there, that could be a problem for them. But we're making sure that it ain't going to become a problem for Brother Warren anymore. Because we're going to make sure that if it's not right, we're going to turn it over to the authorities.
Warren says more than 6,000 people in Southwest Louisiana have filled out preliminary forms he's been involved in distributing. At your service, Teresa Schmidt, KPLC 7 News.
I think we made sure that we mentioned to everyone that there's a place for Social Security number and even date of birth. They could feel comfortable by skipping that. All we needed was information to get in touch with them.
That's what Minister Greg Warren says people attending meetings about the BP oil spill settlement were told. Yet some people did fill out the one-page form completely, including Social Security number. After learning about Warren's past convictions for wire fraud and tax evasion, some wish they had not given that information.
When you Google my name and this kind of thing comes up, it's understandable why people would have an uneasy feeling.
Warren says forms are being given to attorneys working on BP oil spill claims and that people who filled out the forms have nothing to fear. Still, Carmen Millian with the Better Business Bureau says anyone concerned their information has been compromised can write the credit bureaus and ask for a credit freeze.
When you give your Social Security number to somebody and you really don't know who's handling it, then you need to protect yourself. And one of the easiest ways is just to put a freeze on your credit. Go to annualcreditreport.com and put a freeze on their credit report.
Millian reminds people when filling out forms as a potential claimant in any case, they should be accurate and truthful.
Because you don't want any government agency to come back and tell you that you weren't eligible and expect to be to have to pay the money back.
Warren knows that better than most since his convictions were related to a scheme to submit fraudulent claims in a diet pill class action.
And they're going to have to fill out a claims packet. And in that claims packet, they're going to be asked some very important questions. And if they lie about any of that information in there, that could be a problem for them. But we're making sure that it ain't going to become a problem for Brother Warren anymore. Because we're going to make sure that if it's not right, we're going to turn it over to the authorities.
People can access such claim forms at the Deepwater Horizon website without going through Warren or anyone else. July 2014, lines outside a local church on Mill Street where people went in droves to find out if they might have a claim in the BP oil spill case. Church leaders said they'd been contacted by a pastor from Hammond, Greg Warren, a man with an unsavory past, convicted of crimes in connection with a diet pill fraud case in 2005.
When you Google my name and this kind of thing comes up, it's understandable why people would have an uneasy feeling.
After Warren responded to our calls, he said what they were doing locally was above board.
And they're going to have to fill out a claims packet. And in that claims packet, they're going to be asked some very important questions. And if they lie about any of that information in there, that could be a problem for them. But we're making sure that it ain't going to become a problem for Brother Warren anymore. Because we're going to make sure that if it's not right, we're going to turn it over to the authorities.
Yet, now, Warren is one of 7 people indicted in Mississippi in a case which focuses on a San Antonio attorney, Michael Watts, and involves fraud and identity theft, according to U.S. Attorney Greg Davis.
Defendant Watts falsely claimed that each of these 41 victims was a deckhand on a commercial fishing vessel. In fact, none of the 41 persons worked on a commercial fishing vessel or even in the seafood industry at the time of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill.
The indictment in Mississippi covers activities between 2010 and 2013 and includes no victims from this area. Still, in 2014, local people did fill out forms like these with spaces for Social Security numbers. After the church shut it down, those circulating the forms planned to move activities to a local hotel until hotel management shut that down. No word on whether activities here have or may be investigated. At your service, Teresa Schmidt, KPLC 7 News.